Hello and welcome to Chuck's Diecast Car and Model Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at this lovely car. This is actually, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful cars ever made. This is the Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato. This particular model is made by, as you can see here, if we can focus, Road Signature. I believe that's what that says, and it is in 1/18 scale. There is, quite a history to this particular car. There were only 19 of them made back in the early 1960s. These were built to, race along with against, the Ferrari GTO and all this sort of stuff. Didn't have that illustrious of a racing history, even though, they had taken, a straight up normal Aston Martin DB4 GT and, taken it to the Zagato firm to get lightened and given a more aerodynamic body and everything like that. But it still really, was not a successful car racing, but it was just a gorgeous car. As I mentioned, they made 19 of them. But then what happened here was these cars were so desirable that back, I believe in the late 90s, Aston Martin had some leftover chassis numbers. So they made, I believe, 4 or 5 more of them. To the same essential design as the original, but I think they used a different motor. Just a slightly hopped up or enlarged motor from the regular 3.7 liter straight 6 that this car had. But it was built using the same techniques, and I believe it was actually built again by the folks over at Zagato. And then they built a couple more. After that, because of course Aston Martin wanted to make even more money. So, I've seen a few of these. I mean, I've seen a couple of a few of the original Zagatos that were built in the 60s. I've seen at least one of the Sanction 2 cars. It was actually in bare metal, which was kind of interesting. And then I saw another one parked in a parking lot at Pebble Beach, just in the parking lot. So I don't know if that was a Sanction 1 or a Sanction 2 car or whatever. But yeah, they are gorgeous cars. The interesting thing is I did, like I said, see a couple of them at least at the what's called the Colorado Grand, which is a historic car tour that happens in Colorado every year. Got to talk with the guy who actually did the mechanical and body restoration of one of these Zagatos, and discussed with him a few things, including the fact that when they rebuilt the car, they actually put a roll cage inside. Not necessarily because they were going to race it, but because if you look right here, there is literally almost nothing there to protect you from a rollover. If the car were to roll over, you would end up with a very flat head. So they actually reinforced this area by putting a roll bar in there. So just for general safety, they actually put that roll bar in there. Very interesting. But let's take a look at this particular model. I actually think it's a pretty decent model. I didn't pay very much for this. I don't think I paid more than about $50, but as you'll see here, the representation of the wire wheels is very nice. They're not wire, but they are very nice and thin and very much appear to be wire, even, up, fairly close up. You can see the center locking wheels, the Zagato logo there underneath the heat extractor behind the tire. So, that looks pretty good. When you take a look at the front, there's the classic Aston Martin grille, the Aston Martin badge there on the hood. Again, that looks pretty decent, although the intake underneath the grill there for the oil cooler is solid, and I'm not sure exactly why. And it doesn't have any texture of an oil cooler underneath there. Taking a look at the engine here, it does open in the reverse manner to normal. You can see that straight six there, pretty decent representation of that straight six motor, although none of that stuff I don't think was chromed, but it doesn't look too bad. You can see there that it's a straight six, but it's dual plug heads, or dual plug cylinders there, so that's kind of neat. And you can also see the triple carbs there as well, so like I said, it's fairly decent. Taking a look at the rear here, you can see it's a nice and elegant, simple rear. The trunk does not open, but again, it looks pretty decent. Looking underneath, you'll see that again, a decent representation of the sump, the drive shaft, and the exhaust under there, so not bad there. And when you take a look at the interior, you'll also see that it's not bad either. The gauge clusters and the steering wheel and the shifter all look pretty decent in there, along with the seats there. You can see the cushioning there in the seats. Interesting to see that the handbrake lever is to the left of the driver, like it was with my actually Porsche 914 that I had when I was younger. But again, it looks pretty good in there. So, all together, like I said, it's a pretty nice model for the price I paid. And, if you want a DB4 GT, I can recommend this model. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and make a comment as well. Take care and have a nice day.